So we've only started it this year, and what we've done is set it up on like automotive. So we set the hours on the machines. So you go individually into the machines, you set how many hours specifically for that item, that machine, and it also then trigger 2 reminders at set dates as well. And then that will be instantaneously sent as the first initial one, and then the second email to, for example, our service and parts department, and then they'll go onto the planning board, raise a job card, put specific details if it's a 500-hour service, 250-hour service, 1,000, etc., etc. And then they'll allocate it to one of our fitters, our engineers, and that person will automatically get their job card onto their mobile phone with all the details, locations, contacts, etc., etc. on that. Also on the back of that, obviously, you create a history of what's actually been done, and it can cause quite a jeopardy to the contract and to your customer relationships if you are not up to date with your servicing. So we use that data. I can also then set things we've done automatically without me being involved. The system will automatically send the information to EKFB on what we've had done on that piece of equipment as well, staying consistently compliant, obviously keeping overheads down to a limited, using the system to do the job for you. So we are planning ahead now with our maintenance schedule because of the system itself.
I don't think I could have done my job if I didn't have a system like that in place. It was an absolute nightmare with trying to consolidate all the information into one place to start off with, but once it is up in one place and you've got a platform that's kind of punching out the data, my day would start off and it was so much better rather than having to go through 6 different systems to find out what was going on. I'd get in, make a coffee, open the system up, have a look at it. I had all my filters set and my deviations, all my filters set, my planning tool stuff, so that I'd come in and I'd be like, right, how's morning shift got on this morning? You could be a lot more dynamic, really, but structured at the same time. We've been able to do it. So a really good thing that we did in the last 12 months really was one of the integrations with the connected feature, which we used Schaefer's Optime in conjunction with CheckProof. So we started installing these triaxial vibration monitoring sensors on the screen, and a bit sceptical to start off with because we'd never done it before. How's it going to make sure that it can actually detect the problems when they flag up? And in the end, I'll swallow my pride, and it worked. And it worked an absolute treat. We were getting a deviation flag up on the system to say there's been a change in the frequencies on this. That was doing that before we even noticed the sound difference. We reckoned in the end we were getting somewhere between 3 to 6 weeks notice that a gearbox was needing changing, and not only was it that was helping us away in the downtime, we were also finding that we were capturing the gearboxes so early that we weren't always having to pay for a bearing and a gear change. We were sometimes getting away with just a bearing change. So there was a financial payback there as well, which was really good.
We've started pulling in the AAMP data into CheckProof, and with that comes some of the alerting from the OEMs. So we've started using the data that's in CheckProof to start to figure out when we've got failure coming from the onboard computers from the plant and the equipment. When he was at Breedon, he had the foresight to start to integrate some of the CheckProof data with Power BI dashboards, which are starting to be used in our business. So that data, coupled with the AMP data we get from the OEMs, gives us quite a nice insight into when maintenance checks have been carried out, and then information like how long since a maintenance check's been overdue. So we can see where we've got pockets of excellent maintenance and pockets of very poor maintenance around the business. And the idea is to build a complete Breedon ecosystem where we pull all the maintenance data and all the plant data and all the telematics data from all the mobile and fixed equipment into a single place.
There was one point where I think we must have changed all the hydraulic hoses on 5 excavators, again costing us a lot of money. I've been able to CheckProof download from the spreadsheet and evaluate actually the downtime costs to us as a business. And I'll be able to successfully go back to Lynch and say, here's the records of the downtime that's cost us money because we're not producing. So I've been using heavily as a commercial aspect for production forms. So again, going back to HS2 and obviously the compliance within that, it's been signed off at the head of EKB and HS2 to use the production reports, one because it gives a GPS location and two, date, stamp and time on it as well, so it's been signed off commercially from that. So from my point of view, more commercial is I've always got that data down and that's live that actually says at that moment I produced X amount of material, which sometimes we've gone into dispute on what's been done, what hasn't been done, or what specification material has been produced at what time on what machine. So that evidence has actually come around and saved us.
It involves the sensors that we can put on equipment for predictive analytics. It involves additional sensors, all the same sensors that we can use for monitoring of idle time and fuel burn and carbon footprinting and all those things that are on everybody's agenda at the moment. And one of the big challenges that we have is how we use all this data in a manner that is efficient and useful to the site managers and the quarry managers and contract crushers or whoever we've got working on site. In the next 3 to 5 years, I see an uptake in the use of those sensors, but coupled with generative AI.